Mr. Kissi Agyebeng, the pressure is now becoming immense. A lot of petitions now are calling for your removal over alleged incompetence and financial mismanagement. They say you should go. Will you resign honorably to preserve the dignity of the office of the Special Prosecutor?
You see, do you know something? My appointment is governed by the OSP Act 2017 at 959, and the process for removal is clearly stipulated. The OSP is a critical independent institution, and I will not resign based on unsubstantiated claims and political witch hunts masquerading as petitions. The law will take its course. My focus remains on executing the mandate of this office, not on theatrical resignations.
You see, this is what Ghanaians have been complaining about. They say the only thing they know how to do is to organize press conferences and confuse them with big English. And this is the same thing you are doing with me right now.
With all due respect, I reject the notion that complex issues can or should be reduced to sound bites. If the complaint is that I use precise legal and formal language to articulate the OSP's position on matters of national importance, then I plead guilty. Look, my communications are directed to the citizens who fund this office, but they are also directed to the sophisticated legal actors, courts and international partners. They must be accurate, legally sound and unambiguous. We hold press conferences not to confuse, but rather to demystify the fight against corruption and provide updates that often span multiple jurisdictions and require explanation of complex statutes like Act 959 or procedures for asset forfeiture and mutual legal assistance. So the difference between rhetoric and reality is this: we are not just talking about investigations. We are filing documents, seizing assets, and enduring legal challenges in the Supreme Court. The documents we file use big English, necessary to win in court, and that is where the true fight against corruption is won, not in simple catchy phrases on social media. We are trading headlines for results, and that requires clarity, not simplification.
Hey, so what about the ordinary Ghanaians? They are the ones paying for the 364 million Ghana cedis in the budget. And those people, they don't need academic legal defense. They need to know what tangible results affect their daily lives. How do you communicate the success of the OSP to the market woman or to the taxi driver who feels corruption directly in their pockets?
You are right. That is the most important question and the easiest to answer. The ordinary Ghanaian is the ultimate beneficiary of our work. While they may not be tracking the case docket numbers or reading the fine print of a forfeiture order, they understand that when corruption is successfully checked, it translates to better roads, better healthcare, and more reliable electricity because the public funds are not being stolen. My communication to the ordinary Ghanaian is delivered through 1. Deterrence. And when I say deterrence, I mean every major investigation we announce, every asset we seize, send a clear signal that the cost of corruption is rising. The market woman feels this when public officials become more hesitant to demand rights. 2. Asset recovery. When we successfully recover stolen funds or secure assets for the state, that money is eventually returned to the public purse. And that is money that can be invested back into social services, tangible results that the taxi driver will. 3. The rule of law. Above all, the ordinary Ghanaian benefits from the assurance that, unlike previous eras, there is finally a dedicated independent office willing and able to investigate the powerful without fear or favor. The very existence and active operation of the OSP is a victory for the ordinary person, right to the honest governance. Regardless of how complex the legal language supporting that operation is. We are working on communicating our outcomes more through impact figures, funds saved, assets recovered, and policies influenced, rather than just legal procedures. That is how we will connect our being English success to the ordinary pocket reality.
You do know something, it's okay. Okay, it's okay, that part is okay because you are cracking my brain. But honestly, setting aside the legal battles, do you truly feel proud of your work as a prosecutor over the past 4 years, especially given the public's expectation for major convictions?
Oh, why not? I am immensely proud of the foundational work we have accomplished. The fight against corruption is not a quick sprint. It's a marathon, and the OSP was built almost from the ground up. We have successfully investigated high-profile cases, secured assets under freezing and seizure orders, and importantly, developed key institutional capacity and legal infrastructure. We have created a viable pipeline of cases. While the public rightly yearns for headline convictions, that process is meticulous and subject to judicial timelines, not the speed of the news cycle. Success is not just measured by convictions, but by the deterrent effect and the systems we have established.
Oh wow. Anyway, the core allegation against you is that for the past 4 years you were only drawing salaries, and that despite a budget of 364 million Ghana cedis, the OSP has not delivered any convictions. So if I may ask you, why have you not successfully prosecuted even a single individual from the high-profile dockets you have opened? What is the real obstacle?
That is a gross misrepresentation and a misunderstanding of how complex financial crime prosecutions work. If you don't see any major conviction, that doesn't mean no prosecutions. We have achieved 4 features and successfully initiated prosecutions, some of which are currently before the courts. The real obstacle is twofold. 1, institutional pushback. The thing is, we face deliberate and sophisticated opposition, including the alleged withholding of information and dockets by other institutions, which the petition itself highlighted concerning the extradition processes. This is documented institutional conflict. Second, judicial and investigative rigor. Our cases involve deep forensic analysis, money laundering, and international cooperation, which requires impeccable evidence to withstand scrutiny at the Supreme Court level. We refuse to rush incomplete cases to court simply for public relations. That will be a disservice to justice and the taxpayer. We are building solid defensive cases that will stand the best of time. Thank you.
Thank you too for your time. But Mr. Agyebeng, a little advice to you. You're operating in a political pressure cooker. Since you have resolved to remain in office, your only defense must be irrefutable action. You get me? So I will advise you to focus all available resources on rapidly concluding 1 or 2 high-impact cases that are currently at the most advanced stage of the judicial process. You must immediately release a comprehensive, albeit unaudited public report detailing the precise stage of every major investigation, the total value of assets currently frozen, like you said in your explanation, and a transparent breakdown of how the clean 364 million Ghana cedi budget was allocated to counter the damaging claims of financial mismanagement. You understand? Transparency must be your shield. You must rise above the accusations of stated misbehaviour and incompetence and remember the higher calling of your mandate. Even the Bible says in Colossians 3 verse 23, whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord and not for men. And also in Proverbs 11 verse 3, the Bible says, the integrity of the upright guides them, but the unfaithful are destroyed by their duplicity.